Let's proceed to the continuation of Mr. Aqua's report, the kinds of phrases. Now let's go to the verbal and specifically on the verbal phrases. So please bear with me if I will just use this voiceover audio record on my PowerPoint presentation. Unfortunately, I couldn't use my Proton presentation because the voiceover there, the audio record, is limited only to 20 seconds. So I could not discuss further the um, lesson or topics that is assigned to me. So please bear with this Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. At the end of the lesson, the participants are able to define verbal and verbal phrase, identify and analyze the three kinds of verbal phrases, utilize the verbal phrases, the participial, gerund, and infinitive in writing three-paragraph essay, and lastly, construct lesson plan about verbal phrases. So that's the learning outcomes for this session. So let's proceed. Let's continue. So verbal, it is a word derived from a verb but used as noun, adjective, or adverb. So this time, they function as a noun, adjective, or adverb, though they are still in derived from a verb. So verbal phrase, it is a verbal with modifiers or complement. When we say modifiers, basically the meaning of the modifiers or modify is to change or to alter something. So goes this is goes same with the sentences. So a modifier in sentences changes, clarify, qualifies or limits a particular word in a sentence in order to add emphasis, explanation or details. So they tend to be descriptive words such as adjective or adverbs. So that's the modifiers. So when we say complement, in grammar or if it is used in sentences or sentence, it is a word, clause, or phrase that's needed to complete a given expression or thought within a sentence. So that's the complement. So there are three kinds of verbal: the participle, gerund, and infinitive, and the phrases that can be formed around them. So let's go with it one by one. So let's proceed. So we have here the participle or participles. So that's typographical error. Participle is a form of a verb that acts as an adjective. So there are kinds of participles. So we have present participle. It ends in ing. So for example, his fascinating responses convince us. So kulang ng period dito. Oh. So that's the present participle. So we have the past participle. It ends in ed, t, or en. So let's not just limit ourselves with this. We also have the other form of past participle. Or it is the basic form as well, such as the word made, um, and the other form, which is, for example, the known. So let's not just limit ourselves with EDT or EN. So we have here the example. The extended table accommodated more people. So that's the past participle. We have as well the perfect participle. It includes having or having been before a past participle. So The example here is having exercise, I rested. So that's the participle. So let's go to the participial phrase. Participial phrase. It is a participle modified by an adverb or adverb phrase or accompanied by complement. Um, Always remember that the participial phrase always functions as adjective, and that adjective describes a noun or pronoun. So that can be. So our example here, let's take a look. Burning brightly, the fire lit up the room. So burning brightly is the participial phrase. The one it describes is the fire in the sentence. So burning brightly. What is burning brightly? The fire. So let's go to the next example. Frightened by its sudden appearance, I yelled, "Snake!" So in here, in our example here, on the second sentence, frightened by its sudden appearance is uh, our participial phrase. So, who is frightened by its sudden appearance? So, the nearby noun or pronoun here is the I. So, we have here the personal pronoun I. So, frightened by its sudden appearance describe the personal pronoun I. So, they act as an adjective. So, let's proceed to gerund or gerund phrase. Before before we will go to gerund phrase, let's discuss first what is gerund. Gerund is a form of a verb that acts as a noun. So first participle acts as adjective. So here we have gerund that acts as a noun. So we have example here. Vaulting is my best event in gymnastics. So vaulting is the gerund. Swallowing hurt my sore throat. So the gerund here is the swallowing. So let's go properly on gerund phrase. A gerund phrase, it is a gerund with modifiers or a complement, all acting together as a noun. So the gerund, they can act as subjects, direct objects, indirect objects, predicate nominatives or objects of a preposition in a sentence. So let's take a look in our examples here. Worrying about the deadline prevented the writer from sleeping. So our gerund phrase here is worrying about the deadline. So it acts as a subject in the sentence. In the sentence. So let's have another example. Fishing from the pier is permitted. So the gerund phrase here is fishing from the pier, so it acts as a subject in the sentence. So that's the gerund phrase. Let's move to infinitive. So we have here the infinitive. When you say infinitive, it is a form of a verb that generally appears with the word to and acts as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. So there are kinds of infinitives. The first one is the present infinitives. So the form of present infinitive is to plus the base form of a verb. For example, that is used in sentence, I like to debate. So the next kind of infinitive is the perfect infinitive. The form of the perfect infinitive is to have or to have been plus a past participle. So in here, the example used in sentence is I would have liked to have gone. So that's the infinitive. Let's proceed to infinitive phrase. Infinitive phrase. When we say infinitive phrase, it is an infinitive with modifiers, a complement, or a subject, all acting together as a single part of speech. When we say single part of speech, they act as a noun, adverb, or an adjective. So that's the function of infinitive phrase. So let's take a look in our example here. The baby wanted to wiggle continuously. So the baby wanted to wiggle continuously. In here, um, our infinitive phrase in our first sentence is to wiggle continuously. So let's take a look in our examples here. So the first example is the baby wanted to wiggle continuously. So the infinitive phrase here is to wiggle continuously. So it functions as adverb that modifies the verb wanted. So the second sentence is I plan to visit during the afternoon. So the infinitive phrase here is to visit during the afternoon. So basically uh, it functions as adverb. So the next example is the student asked the college to send a catalog. So the infinitive phrase in our third sentence is to send a catalog. So it functions as well as an adverb. So that's the example for infinitive phrase. Let's do a practice. So get your notes and pens so you can answer the following um, exercise. Underline the verbal phrase and identify what kind of verbal phrase used in the following sentences and write down your answer on your notes. So take your time to answer this exercise. Good luck! So now finally, we have here our activity for this topic. Activity number one, direction. Write a three-paragraph essay about your plan after the pandemic and when everything will be back to normal. Use at least 15 verbal phrase in your essay. You may encode it on a A4 size with Arial font, size 12, and single space. And then I know you can do it. Then activity number two, direction. Construct a semi-detailed lesson plan with a topic, verbal phrase. Encode it on an A4 size with the Arial font, size 12 and single space. You may utilize the usual format or the format being used from the current school you are connected. So, thank you guys and good luck. Assalam.